The first thing Commander Elias Ward noticed when he stepped into the crystalline throne chamber of the Vaelari Empire was the silence. Not the political kind he was used to, the stiff pauses of diplomats, but the heavy, uncomfortable kind. The kind that meant everyone in the room was thinking the same thing, and trying not to say it. At the center stood the princess they were all avoiding. Princess Lyris of House Viral, heir to one of the most influential alien dynasties in the Orion Spur, waited alone, her trembling hands pressed to a carved pillar for balance. Her pale, opalescent skin shimmered under the chamber lights, but her silver eyes were unseeing, fogged with the milky glaze of congenital blindness. A delicate support brace hugged her left leg, assisting muscles weakened since birth. Beautiful. Fragile. And treated like she was made of glass. The Vaelarian bonding ceremony, meant to pair leaders with diplomatic allies through a psychic connection, was about to begin. Representatives from dozens of species stood in a wide arc across the chamber, yet none approached her station. None dared bond with a princess who, according to whispered rumors, could not fully project her mind. Tragic, someone hissed from the back. Unfit, murmured another. She cannot carry the weight of a bond. Lyrian heard them. Elias saw the slightest flinch in her jaw, the way her grip tightened on her cane. But she held her head high, regal despite everything. The Emperor's voice cracked through the room like lightning. Will no one stand with my daughter? Silence. Not one alien moved. That was when Elias stepped forward. He hadn't planned to bond with anyone today. Humans usually weren't chosen for Vaelarian partnerships. Their psychic bandwidth was weaker, and the Empire preferred telepathic species. Elias had come only as an observer, a token representative from a young and small species. But humans had a specific flaw: they hated seeing someone alone. He walked to the front with steady boots on the crystal floor, ignoring the shocked murmurs rising behind him. The Emperor blinked. Commander Ward, you would offer yourself? Elias bowed slightly. If the princess will have me. There was a sharp inhale from the crowd, half scandal, half disbelief. Lyrian turned her face toward the sound of his voice. A human, she whispered, her tone unsure. Last I checked, Elias said softly. But if you don't want this, I'll step away. She hesitated. Her fingers trembled against her cane. I don't want pity. He smiled, though she couldn't see it. Good. I wasn't offering any. A faint sound left her, something like a breath she'd been holding for years. Then, let us begin. The bonding ritual required only a touch. Lyrian lifted her hand, uncertain, searching for his. Elias gently guided her palm to his, warm skin meeting cool alien flesh. Her fingers were slender, fragile, but her grip surprised him with its steadiness. The chamber lights dimmed. Psychic conduits activated along the walls. The crystal floor pulsed with soft violet light. Open your mind, she whispered. Elias obeyed. A rush of warmth, starlight, and delicate pressure swept into his skull, Lyrian's tentative mental touch. It was gentle, cautious, and painfully self-controlled, like a singer afraid to raise her voice. He opened wider. It's okay, he thought toward her. Lean on me. Her mental presence flooded into him, uncertainty, hope, fear, and a brilliance she'd been taught to hide. Voices around them gasped. Even the Emperor leaned forward, startled. Her mind wasn't weak. It was powerful. Focused. Precise. And she was fighting to control it alone. Their connection deepened. Elias felt her blindness, not darkness, but a shimmering network of sound, vibration, and psychic echoes she used to map the world. He felt the ache in her leg. The exhaustion from years of therapy. The loneliness carved deep in her chest. She also felt him, his resilience, stubborn will, and the raw human instinct to protect, help, and stand with the isolated. The crystal floor flared gold. Bond complete. When the lights returned, the chamber was silent. Even the skeptics could sense the strength of the link between them. The Emperor exhaled, a sound of relief and awe. "It is done," he declared. But the story didn't end there. They assigned Elias to the Vaelarian palace indefinitely, standard protocol for bonded partners. At first, he was unsure what to expect. Would she be resentful? Embarrassed? Burdened? But Lyrian surprised him. "Commander Ward," she said on their first day alone together, "I do not need a caretaker." He leaned against the crystalline railing of her balcony. "Good. Because I didn't want to be one." Her lips curved with the faintest amusement. "Then what are you?" He tapped the spot over his heart. "Bonded, remember? We're a team." Her face softened. It took only a week for him to realize that everything people believed about her was wrong. She wasn't fragile, she was fierce. During diplomacy lessons, she corrected instructors with sharp, precise logic. In martial sessions, where her disability supposedly limited her, she moved like flowing water, listening, predicting, striking using echolocation rather than sight. During state meetings, she asked questions that sliced to the truth faster than any advisor. Elias found himself impressed daily. But he also saw the pain she hid, how the bond had forced her into the spotlight, triggering jealousy and hostility from nobles. "She's incomplete," a courtier whispered one morning. "She should not be heir." Lyrian heard. She always heard. And every time, Elias stepped slightly closer to her side. Not to shield her, but to remind her she wasn't alone. The real test came months later. The Vaelarian homeworld was attacked. A rogue coalition, resentful of the Empire's influence, targeted the capital. Defense shields buckled under kinetic fire. Explosions rippled across the palace perimeter. In the chaos, the Emperor was injured. Command fell to the next in line. Lyrian. The council erupted. "She cannot lead troops. She can't even see. It must be her brother." "I am the crown princess," she said quietly. Her voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. "But if I must earn your confidence, then allow me to show you." She touched Elias's arm. Their bond flared bright. "Commander Ward," she said, "we lead together." He nodded. "Always." In the war chamber, Lyrian stood at the center of the tactical map, eyes unfocused, head tilted slightly as she listened to the vibrations of the holograms. Through their bond, Elias fed her real-time battlefield data, positions, damage reports, enemy formations. But she wasn't relying on him blindly. She planned. Calculated. Commanded. "Redirect Fleet Wing 7 to the dark quadrant of Sector K," she said. "The enemy flagship is hiding behind debris. They expect us to overlook the gravitational distortion there." The general stared. "That's correct," one whispered, checking the scans. "Princess, how did you?" "It is loud," she replied simply. Matter speaks, even when hidden. Her strategy turned the tide. Within an hour, the enemy fleet fractured. Their flagship fell. The capital was secure. When the war room erupted in cheers, Lyrian didn't smile, not fully. She turned instead to Elias, uncertain. "Did I do enough?" He touched her hand. "You saved your people." Her unseeing eyes glimmered. "We saved them." The rumors changed after that. "She's brilliant." Human bonding increased her power. No, she always had it. She was just never given a chance. The Emperor, fully recovered, held a public ceremony to honor them both. Before thousands, he clasped his daughter's hands. "You have proven yourself beyond any doubt." For the first time since Elias had met her. Lyrian looked proud. After the ceremony, alone on the balcony, she asked quietly. "Elias, do you ever regret bonding with me? He blinked. Why would I? Because I am not like others. I cannot see your face. I walk with a brace. I require patience and understanding, Anne. He cut her off gently. Lyrian. I didn't choose you despite those things. He stepped closer. I chose you because you're strong. Because you're brilliant. Because you stood alone in a room full of cowards. And because you deserved someone who believed in you. Her breath caught. And now, she whispered. He squeezed her hand. Now I stay. She lifted their bonded palms between them. Then this was not a mistake. Not even close. And so the human and the blind Vaelarian princess became one of the most unbreakable diplomatic pairs in the galaxy. He gave her what no one else had. Not pity. Not protection. But partnership. She gave him what no human had ever earned. Trust. Respect. And a place in a dynasty that once saw humans as lesser. Their bond became legend across star systems, retold for generations as proof of humanity's most powerful trait. Not strength. Not psychic power. Not technology. But the simple, stubborn refusal. To let anyone stand alone. End.